White smoke rose over the Vatican, but for newly elected Pope Leo XIV, Robert Francis Prévost, it marked not just hope, but controversy. During his time as bishop in Peru, he has faced criticism for allegedly failing to properly investigate sexual abuse claims and protect victims. His conservative stance on LGBTQ+ issues, including public opposition to same-sex family structures in 2012, continues to worry advocates of a more inclusive church. The Vatican is also grappling with a €83 million budget deficit and a massive pension fund shortfall, financial burdens that now fall squarely on the new pope's shoulders. Meanwhile, uncertainty surrounds the role of women in the church, particularly in positions like the diaconate. Adding to the intrigue, former U.S. President Donald Trump has reportedly expressed discomfort with some of Pope Leo's social messages. Although Trump has requested a meeting, sources say he is not very pleased with the new pontiff. Pope Leo XIV steps into a role shadowed by moral, financial, and diplomatic crises. The world is watching to see whether he can rise above the past and lead the church into a new era. Germany is drawing a firm, new line on immigration. In a dramatic policy shift, undocumented migrants will now be turned away at the border. No papers, no entry. The government has mobilized 3,000 additional border police, reinforcing crossings and tightening controls. The move is seen as a direct departure from former Chancellor Merkel's open-door stance during the 2015 refugee crisis. Supporters argue it's about restoring order and regaining voter confidence. Critics say it undermines humanitarian values and risks inflaming tensions across the EU. As Germany fortifies its borders, the question echoes across Europe. Are we seeing the end of open borders as we know them? France is heading into dangerous fiscal territory. President Emmanuel Macron wants to ramp up defense spending to 3.5% of GDP by 2030, a response to rising global threats. But there's a problem. The country can't afford it. France is already struggling with a ballooning deficit and stagnant growth. A proposed €3 billion increase in military spending is testing the limits of fiscal discipline. In Brussels, officials now quietly label France Europe's sick man, raising alarms over economic mismanagement. With social tensions simmering and budget holes widening, Macron's ambitious defense push may come at the cost of national stability. The stakes? France's credibility as a pillar of European power may hang in the balance. Bitcoin has surged to an all-time high, surpassing $104,000, fueled by renewed optimism in global trade. The recent US-UK trade agreement has ignited investor confidence, leading to a 3% price jump and the liquidation of nearly $400 million in short positions. Over 344,000 new wallets were created in a single day, marking the strongest retail surge of 2025. Institutional interest is also on the rise, with significant inflows into spot ETFs and a 40% recovery from April lows. As Bitcoin's momentum accelerates, the crypto market watches closely for the next milestone. The Bank of England has cut its key interest rate to 4.25%, marking its first rate reduction since the post-pandemic tightening cycle began. The move comes as unemployment rises to 5.2%, the highest level in 3 years, and major employers announce massive layoffs across retail and manufacturing sectors. Governor Andrew Bailey warned of a, quote, perfect economic storm, triggered by global trade tensions, weakening demand from the EU, and consumer spending collapse due to inflation fatigue. Over 120,000 jobs are estimated to be at risk in the coming quarter, with youth unemployment surging to alarming levels. The rate cut aims to ease borrowing costs, but critics argue it's too little, too late. With credit card defaults rising and small businesses shutting down at a record pace, many fear the UK could be sliding into a full-blown recession. Markets responded with caution as the pound slipped against the dollar and investors fled to safe havens like gold and crypto. All eyes now turn to whether fiscal stimulus will follow or if Britain is on its own. Germany is drawing a firm new line on immigration. In a dramatic policy shift, undocumented migrants will now be turned away at the border. No papers, no entry. The government has mobilized 3,000 additional border police, reinforcing crossings and tightening controls. The move is seen as a direct departure from former Chancellor Merkel's open-door stance during the 2015 refugee crisis. Supporters argue it's about restoring order and regaining voter confidence. Critics say it undermines humanitarian values and risks inflaming tensions across the EU. As Germany fortifies its borders, the question echoes across Europe. Are we seeing the end of open borders as we know them?